Hey YouTube, what's going on? Today I want to do my review for the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus, which I have right here. Now I know you're probably saying, well, both of those phones don't look like the S20 Plus. You're correct. This is the S20 Ultra, but I have it here for a reason and I'll talk about that later. Now, of course, this phone was released on last year. It's been a little over a year since this phone was released. And for me, this phone got little buzz because everything last year was about the S20 Ultra because of the cameras. Samsung really pushed the S20 Ultra because the 108 megapixel camera, the periscope, the 120 times zoom, all the this phone came out with the biggest camera that I've ever seen on a phone up until the Mi 11 Ultra. But I mean, you can see how huge this camera is, and so this is the phone that got all the buzz on last year, and I feel like the S20 Plus was kind of left out in the cold. And this is also a flagship device, top tier, fully loaded with all the features, all the things that this phone has, except it's just scaled down a little bit. And also keep in mind, everybody don't like big giant phones. This is a big phone, 6.9 inches. This is 6.7 inches. You can see that this phone is wider. This phone is a little more narrow. Also, when it comes to thickness, this phone is much thicker. This phone is thinner. And also, this phone is heavier. This phone is lighter. So everybody don't like a big giant phone. Now, I prefer big giant phones like this as well, but that's just me. Also, this has a bigger battery at 5,000 milliamps. This is 4,500 milliamps. So there's some differences, but not to the degree where you feel like you would have to go with this one, unless you want a bigger battery, you want it the 100 times zoom, the 108 megapixel camera, and a bigger display, and a heavier and a thicker device. So it depends on you. Now with this, the advantage that this phone has is that it is lighter, it is a little thinner, more one-handed friendly. Also, you're going to get at least 6 different color options. You're only getting 2 color options with the S20 Ultra, with gray and black. That's it. This one, I mean, it's blue. There's all kind of colors. Now I got the blue, and I really like this color a lot. I just can't really understand why Samsung always gives the budget phones and mid-range phones, or middle phones, like the top tier, like a little step down from the flagship phones. They give them all the colors, and with the most expensive devices, they only give you 2 colors. I just don't understand that, or maybe 3. I just don't get that. It makes no sense to me. You spend the most money and you get less options. I don't get it. But anyway, this ain't about the S20 Ultra. This is about the S20 Plus. All right. So also keep in mind, when this phone was released on last year, it was $1,200. And that really hurt Samsung because we were in the middle of a pandemic, and this phone is not worth $1,200. It's a nice phone. It's a great phone. It's a beastly phone, but it's not worth $1,200. Samsung definitely overpriced this device. Definitely. Way too much. And they didn't do well in sales for the whole S-line series at all because the prices were too high. The S20 Ultra, this was $1,400. And then the S20, the one that's a step down from this one, was $1,000. So $1,000, $1,200, $1,400, ridiculous. All right. Now, the good news about this phone, if you're thinking about getting a new smartphone and you like Samsung and you want the top tier flagship phones with everything, you want a premium device, you definitely might want to check this one out. The S20 Plus is a great device. Seriously, it really is. And it's unlocked for all carriers. So no matter what carrier that you're on, this phone will work. First thing, let's talk about the design. Now, not my favorite design when it comes to a smartphone, but not a bad design. It just got a square camera. It's just, there's nothing exciting about the design, but it's okay. All right. It's okay as design. Now, some people may really like the design. Now, I know people like the design of the S21 series better than the S20, but there's not a bad design. It's just nothing exciting about it. All right. Next, let's talk about button placement. The button placement is excellent. As you can see here, you got your power button and you got your volume rockers, and nothing is on the left. And it's easily reachable. See where my thumb easily rests? I don't have to like stretch. It's right here, easily reachable. And I like this button placement setup. I hate what Google does. They put the volume rockers where the power button at and put the power button above that. I think that's stupid placement for me. I hate that placement. But the button placement on this is excellent. Mostly for those of you that are right-handed. I know lefties may not like it as much, but for righties, you'll love it. Everything on the right side. That's what I prefer. I don't want the volume rockers on the left. I want everything on the right, so it's easily reachable and attainable for me. Next, let's talk about build quality. Now, I'm going to take this case off really quick so you can get a better look at it. Hopefully, I don't break a nail doing this. Ah, beautiful. I love this beautiful blue color. Now, you got Gorilla Glass 6 on the front and the back with aluminum frame. You can see how thin this phone is. But if you're the type of person that don't like cases, you will absolutely love the build quality on this device. It feels so premium because it is premium. If you like that glass back, you're going to like the feel of this phone. And you know what's good about this too? Is that the phone is not slippery. Now, I know it depends on the person. Like if you're the type of person that has moist hands, like right now, probably my hands are a little moist, so it's giving me a little more grip. But if you're a person that has very dry hands, maybe the phone might be slippery. So just use the case. Or anyway, I always use the case anyway because I don't want to run the risk of dropping my phone and breaking it. And this case is not even that thick. It's not that big. So you don't have to get no big outer box case or anything like that. You know, small little thin case. You just want to make sure you protect it. But the build quality on this phone is excellent. You will absolutely love the build quality on this device if you want to use it without a case. So I'm going to put it back in this case. Next, let's talk about the always-on display. In my opinion, Samsung makes the best always-on display. My favorite thing about it, I like the way the notifications are colored so you can basically see what they are. Also, you can see the time, the date, the day. You can see your battery percentage down here. And also, you can always see the fingerprint sensor, which I think is important. I don't have to guess where it's at. I don't have to double press the screen to get it to light up. I always can see and know where it's at. And I like that. I wish more manufacturers would give us that option to put the fingerprint sensor on all the time or either cut it off. At least give us the option. Next, let's talk about biometrics. Now, what I mean by that, of course, fingerprint sensor, face unlock. So this phone has both. Now, face unlock, it's not the most secure, but it is a convenience, and I love a phone that has face unlock. Now, the only thing about it, it's just not always accurate. It's just not. Samsung, maybe the S21 series is better, but as far as this, it's okay. When it does catch your face, it opens up the phone really fast, but it doesn't always recognize my face, and I don't like that. But I still like the fact that it has face unlock. Next thing, you got the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Works very well. It's very secure. You press it, get right into the phone, no problem. Let me try it again. Yeah, right into the phone, no problems at all. No haptic feedback, keep that in mind, but it does work very, very well. So no problems with the fingerprint sensor. Next, let's talk about the display. Now with the display, you're getting a 6.7-inch Quad HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display, HDR10 Plus, 1200 nits peak brightness, and 120 hertz refresh rate. As you can see, the display is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. It's eye candy. Samsung makes the best displays on any smartphone. And believe me, everybody pretty much buy their displays from Samsung because of that reason. Now, they buy Samsung panels and they may tweak it here, tweak it there, but it's still a Samsung panel because they make the best displays, period. So I love the display. You will love the display as well. Next, let's talk about water and dust resistance. Of course, this phone is IP68 water and dust resistance. So if you're the type of person that you got to have your phone with you all the time, washing dishes, you're in the bathroom, you're in the tub, you're in the shower, you don't have to worry about no water damage with this phone at all. Drop it in 5 feet of water for 30 minutes and you'll be fine. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and do that on purpose just to test it. Don't do that. But it does have IP68 water and dust resistance. Next, let's talk about storage. Now, this phone comes with 128 gigs of internal storage already built in. I think it should have came with 256 only because this phone was $1,200 when it was released. So it should have had at least 256 gigs minimum, especially for that price. And the other thing that's good about this phone, for those of you that are Samsung fans, this phone has expandable storage up to 1 terabyte, something that they removed from the S21 series of devices. But if you don't want that device out and you need that expandable storage, you're going to get it on this. 1 terabyte of expandable memory. All you got to do is get yourself a terabyte SD card. And it don't have to be. It could be 256. Excuse me. It could be 512. It could be 128. But you have the ability to expand the memory, especially if you're the type of person that likes to shoot a lot of videos. You're the type of person that like to store a lot of movies and videos on your device and music. You want that expandable storage. And keep in mind, this phone does shoot in 8K. So if you're the type of person that want to shoot in 8K, that's going to take up a lot of storage. And if you don't have it, you're going to fill up the storage on this really, really quick. So it's nice to know that this phone has expandable storage. That's huge. That's really important, especially to me. Next thing, let's talk about the battery. Now with the battery, you're getting a 4,500 milliamp battery. Now, I'll tell you, for my usage, I'm getting a day and a half. Now, I use my phone different than any of you, so battery life is always going to be subjective depending on how you use your device. Everybody uses their device different, so there's always different scenarios. There's people that are gamers, and if you're a gamer, you're going to go through the battery a lot faster. If you're the person that like to shoot a lot of videos, especially either at 8K or 4K at 30 or 60 or 1080p at 60, you're going to use a lot more battery. If you're the type of person like me that likes your phone 100% brightness, which is where this is at, 100% brightness, I'm getting all my notifications. I'm using an always on display at its highest setting. I'm using everything at full blast. I'm using 120 hertz. So I like to use my phone heavy. I'm on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. I'm surfing the net. I'm on eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram. I use my phone a lot. So a day and a half, I think, is really good for this device. I really do. Now, if you don't use your phone like that, you're not in savagery mode like I am, you might get 2 days because you're going to turn the brightness down to maybe 60, I'd say between 50 to 80% maybe. You probably don't need the always on display on. And if that's the case and you want to use Quad HD and you don't want to use the 120 hertz, you're going to save even more battery. So this phone could easily, I believe, get 2 days. But because I'm a savage, I need everything full blast. But a day and a half is still good, in my opinion. All right, next, let's talk about RAM management. Now, RAM management on this device is good also. It has 8 gigs of RAM. I have no issues when it comes to RAM management. So the RAM management on this device is very, very good. Next, let's talk about charging speeds on the battery. So it comes with a 25-watt fast charging brick in the box. I'll say it again. It comes with a 25-watt fast charging brick in the box. This is what Samsung gave you before they went crazy this year and start taking away the charging brick out of their devices, which I can't stand. It's like they'll tease Apple about removing the headphone jack. They'll tease Apple about removing the headphones. They'll tease Apple about taking the charger out of the box. And then they turn right around and do the same thing. I can't stand that. And Samsung has disappointed me. They've also taken away expandable storage. They just going in the wrong direction as far as I'm concerned. And they're taking away value from their devices. And I'm all about value. If I feel like you're going to keep charging me more money and you're going to keep taking things away from me, I'm not going to buy your products anymore. I'm just not going to do it. I'll buy your older products and I'll use them, but I'm not buying no phone that comes with no charger in the box. I'm not doing it. But let me move on. All right. So 15-watt wireless charger for those of you that like wireless charging like me. I love it. Now keep in mind, wireless charging is not a gimmick. I love it because when I'm going to sleep at night, I usually wake up in the middle of the night at least one time, and I like to glance over and be able to see the time. I could do that having the phone right up on the dock. You can see it, and it's charging up. By the time I wake up in the morning, my phone is fully charged. Just take it off the dock and roll out. So I love wireless charger, but it's going to take you, excuse me, at least 2.5 hours to fully charge this device from 0 to 100% because 15-watt wireless charging is very, very slow, unlike the competition of today. Also, you get 4.5-watt reverse wireless charging, meaning power share. So you can take a watch, a smartwatch, put it on the back of the phone. You could take some wireless earbuds, put it on the back of the phone and charge it. And you could also take another phone, put it on the back of the phone and charge it. Nice convenience. I wouldn't do the phone thing because the wattage is so low. I would mainly use it for wireless earbuds and your smartwatch because they're not going to take that long to charge. A phone, 4.5 watts is going to be too slow. I don't know why they did that. It should be way more than that based on the price of this phone. $1,200, 4.5 watts should have been either 9 or 10 watts reverse wireless charging. Next, let's talk about performance. Now you have the Snapdragon 865, which is a flagship processor. The phone runs very fast. It runs very smooth. No problems when it comes to performance. None at all. I mean, as you can see, goes right in and out of apps, come out nice and smooth. That 120 hertz is kicking in. I just love how fast and smooth this device is. I really like it a lot. So you're not going to have any problems when it comes to performance of this device. It is fast and is definitely buttery smooth. Keep in mind also you're getting One UI 3.0 and you got Android 11 right now, but this phone is going to get Android 12 and Android 13. So this phone is going to be good for at least the next 2 to 3 years. So don't worry about it being outdated or nothing like that. No, you're going to be good for the next 2 to 3 years. And you're going to get 3 more years of security updates. Next, let's talk about features. Now, everybody knows that our Samsung fans, you know that Samsung has always been about features. They give you tons and tons of features. Sometimes they can be gimmicky depending on what it is. And I would say a feature is only gimmicky if you don't use it. If you don't use it, it's gimmicky. If you use it, it's not gimmicky. That's just my opinion on that. I love a phone with tons of features because I like to have fun with my phone. I can't have fun with my phone if it don't have nothing. But everybody's different. There's people out there that don't want a lot of features. They don't care. And there's people like me that love a phone that's feature packed. And that's definitely me. Okay. Now with this phone, the thing I like about it, you're getting a lot. Now I'm not going to even name all the features you get, but I'm just going to name some. You got Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, edge lighting, edge panels, Samsung DeX, Samsung Pay, Samsung Pass, secure folder, one-handed mode, link to Windows, nearby share, the side key, screen recording, Bixby routines, music share, float and floating notifications. That's just some, and that's a lot, okay? Also, you're getting dynamic and live screen wallpapers. Let me show you what that is. Now, I only have it set for the dynamic wallpapers. I don't have it set for the live, but every time, basically, when you turn this screen on, you're going to get a different look. As you can see, every time I turn it on, you're going to see something different. Now, that's my preference. I know some people like to use the animals. Some people like to use loved ones, on their lock screen or on their home screen. It just depends on you. I'm the type of person, I want to see something different. I want to see something rich, colorful. Now, I used to be a chef, so I love this food thing when they show food and stuff like that because it's just beautiful. It's artistic, and I love seeing something different every single time I open my phone up. And the live wallpapers are nice too because they actually move. You're also getting FM radio, and you're getting lift to wake. What I mean by lift to wake, you just lift the phone up. It'll automatically make the screen light up. And if your face unlock is enabled, it's going to open up the phone for you. So I like lift to wake as well. Next, let's talk about audio. Now, the dual stereo speakers on here with Dolby Atmos are great. Let me let you listen to a little bit of non-copyrighted music here. You could hear the speakers for yourself. Now, those speakers sound really good. They're nice and loud. They have a nice full sound. They sound great. Now, I know y'all probably not going to believe me, but in my opinion, the speakers on the S20 Plus sound better than the speakers on the S20 Ultra. Now, I'm going to play both, and I'm going to let you hear it for yourself. Now, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to play this one first, and then I'm going to play the S20 Ultra. Y'all tell me. Maybe it's my ears, but to me, it sounds better and it sounds louder. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this one sounds louder. That's just my opinion. But y'all let me know down in the comment section below. Y'all let me know. All right. So let me let you see how the video is. Video on here is great as well. Don't want to play the volume because I don't want it just to, get swiped with copyright infringement. But as you can see, you're getting a full display, no bezels at all. The little tiny cutout for the camera, and that's it. But the display on this phone is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Okay? So I love it. Now, let's talk about the thing that's important to a lot of people. Not the most important thing to me, but it is important, but not the most important. Let's talk about, I forgot to mention with the audio, you also get the 32-bit audio tuned by AKG. So when you put your headphones in the USB Type-C port, you're going to get nice sound. Samsung has so many different ways you can enhance the sound on this device, equalizer and all type of different things. You could, change the sound however you want. Okay. They even have something where you could change it depending on your age. So it's a lot of ways you can improve the sound on this device if you don't like the default settings that are already placed on here. All right, so now let's talk about the cameras, okay? Now, for a lot of people, the cameras are the most important thing to them when it comes to a smartphone. Not so much me. I like a phone that has a nice camera, but it doesn't have to be the best camera on the market. It just has to be good, okay? It doesn't have to be phenomenal, groundbreaking, changing photography. No, it just has to be a decent camera that takes good pictures in the daytime. Low light has to be decent. Doesn't have to be the best, but decent. Because a lot of times I don't take low light pictures. I take mostly pictures outside and stuff like that. But it's good to know if you do have a device that takes good low light pictures, you want that. And the videos on here to me are very good. You got super steady video, nice and smooth. The speakers sound great as well. But let me give you the details of the camera real quick. So you got a 12 megapixel wide, 64 megapixel telephoto. You get 1x optical zoom, 3x hybrid zoom. a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 3 megapixel depth sensor. Okay. Now with the rear cameras, they shoot at 8K, 24 frames per second, 4K at 30 and 60, 1080p at 30 and 60. You get 240 frames per second at 1080p. That's your slow motion. And 720p at 960 frames per second. That's your super slow motion. All at HDR10 plus stereo sound recording with electronic image stabilization and optical image stabilization. When it comes to the front camera, you got a 10 megapixel wide that features dual video calling, and the video shoots on the front camera in 4K at 30 and 60, and also 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. Now, also, when you open up the camera, you get a lot of options. You see here, you got single take, photo, video. You press more. You got AR doodle. You got a pro mode, panorama, food mode, night mode, portrait video, pro video, slow mo, super slow mo, hyperlapse, and dual recording. So you get a lot of options with the camera. If you're the type of person that likes to go crazy and have a lot of fun with your camera, then this is the camera you want to check out. Now, the only things I don't like about this device is only two things. No headphone jack, no IR blaster. Other than that, I love everything about this device. I really do. Now, it's a little on the thin side. I prefer a phone a little thicker and a little wider, but I'm just being petty. This is a great device. You can find it around $550 to $650, depending on how you want to get it, either pre-owned or refurbished or open box or brand new. Brand new, I think you'll probably pay max maybe $650. Now that's still a lot lower than what it was when it first was released. It was $1,200. So the fact that you're getting it for $5 something, I even seen it pre-owned for like $4 something. So it depends on how you want it. Now I wouldn't do pre-owned. I would do either open box, refurbished, or either brand new. I would probably go more toward open box or brand new, but that's just me. So it depends on, how much money you have to spend. But if you want a flagship device, top tier, fully loaded, great cameras, great battery life, great performance, great display, great build quality, you want to check out this phone. Seriously. Samsung, they did it right. This is a great device, especially if you don't like big giant phones. It's going to be nice and thin for you. It's not going to be too heavy. And it's going to be a little more one-handed friendly. And also, I didn't show you this, I talked about it, but you also got the one-handed mode. Sometimes I could nail it, sometimes I don't. Just wanted to show you that real quick. Okay, there you go. So you can make the whole screen a lot smaller if you need to. So I don't have a whole lot of dislikes like I normally have with a lot of devices, but I just don't. This is a great device all the way around. So should you buy this phone in late 2021? I say absolutely. Absolutely, especially if you need expandable storage, because you're going to get that on here. And like I said, this phone is going to be good for the next 2 years. Now, I forgot, and I do apologize. I do have photos and videos that I want to show you, and I'll do that, and then the video is going to be over. So please check out the photos and videos of this device. And I want to thank you all once again for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Hope everybody has a wonderful holiday, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Stand by for the photos and the videos. Peace.
Yeah.